We've started in our new project. We've got this vintage Winnebago, and what a look it has. So when we get to tearing into this, you really need to think about the layers that are involved. When they put this thing together, it was like a sandwich cookie. The metal is your outside layer, then they put styrofoam, a couple wood supports in, and then another layer of paneling, and it's all sandwiched and glued together and then put together up as your wall. That makes it hard if all the wood inside is degraded to rebuild it. So the first thing you really need to do is get it off the unit and get it laid down so you can get to work. As you can see, we've already gotten to work on this one. We've got the whole wall off, it's inside, we're getting ready to start rebuilding that. But from this angle, you can really see the different layers. We've got styrofoam here, we've got wood. There was wood up here, but as you can see, it's all degraded and just terrible. So we'll have to rebuild all that, but one layer at a time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now that we've got this big bad boy in here and ready to work on it, first thing we needed to do was lay it down. Now we laid it down on the metal side because that's the one side that's not going to change. We want to try to keep that vintage. When we laid it down on some nice styrofoam so that way we're not messing out that outside metal as we're working on it. The first thing we needed to do was remove all of the degraded wood. Some of the wood you'll be able to keep, like this piece here and this piece here were strong enough that we were able to keep them in place, but anything that was just degraded and eaten away we had to take out of here. Next layer you want to get is at your styrofoam, because your styrofoam is going to start coming apart in different areas away from your metal. So we glued down the styrofoam, and the next thing we really had to think about was where is our electrical going to run? We have a lot of new circuits in here that weren't in the original wall. So what you do is you section out areas of styrofoam and you run your electrical all through the walls before we put our paneling on. So that way everything's in place. Once you get your paneling on, it's going to be blind, so you're not going to know where your wiring is. So you need to measure everything out. We're going to have a vanity in here, so we went ahead and put a receptacle in the wall behind the vanity. Now that I have the wires hidden in here, you want to measure off things. You don't want to just measure like off the edge of the wood and stuff because this will all be blind. So I measured off of the window and the door. Those will be easy to find once we have the paneling on. I'll know exactly where my wiring is. I'll be able to dig right in and find it, and we'll be able to have all the circuitry perfect. So once you have your electrical all figured out, the next thing you need to think about is where's your cabinetry going to be. We're going to have some overhead cabinetry up here, and once that paneling gets on, if it's just styrofoam and paneling, you're not going to have anything to bite onto to hold your cabinetry in place. So what we did is we used aluminum paneling. I'll go ahead and glue this down to the styrofoam, and then when I glue the paneling over top of that, it'll be plenty of area and nice and secure to bite onto and hold your cabinetry in.